Hello, good morning and welcome back to our channel, Quinta, Fonte, Pipa. And in this week's episode, Dad is taking our truck for its IPO, which is the Portuguese equivalent to a British MOT. Wish him luck. Me and Mum are currently off to go and get water in case she does fail, and we're stuck on the farm for a few days, so let's go get some drinking water.
Today we have a special visitor. We have Jasper from the Portugal project. He's coming over today to help Alex with some Wi-Fi issues that we're having. But I just thought I'd kind of film how beautiful these grapes are looking.
And I think someone's just arrived. Hey! Hey up.
It's still all safe here with the broken bowl and stuff.
Oh yeah, totally, yeah. I'll make sure it hits your van, not mine.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Park wherever you like, dude.
On the Mercedes.
One of my jobs today is to clean the tank out in the back garden, as it's one of Dad's jobs is to refill the tank. We've ended up with some sludgy stuff on top of it, so I'm sweeping all of that out. As you can probably see, I'm barefoot because my wellies have got a giant hole in them. So I've kind of been putting this off all day, and it is extremely hot still, and it's about 7:30 and it's still very, very warm. But it's not bad to be in the water. Let's just hope we can get this job done quickly.
Having goats, you don't really get the opportunity to have flowers. However, we have these, but they are poisonous. And the goats know they're poisonous and they don't actually touch them. And this is the view from our back garden, right at the bottom of the Gardenia Mountains. Got pears to pick.
I would like to say a big thank you to this week's sponsor, Hazel Quinn. And I could not say no to this collaboration, because as you can see on the right, I have a cool box that I purchased 2 weeks before this company decided to contact us, and it is the exact same light sage green colour that I love. And for those of you who know me, I love anything vintage or retro, and these are absolutely beautiful kitchen appliances. So I'm going to make myself some toast, I'm going to make Dad a cup of tea, and I'm going to have a glass of apple juice with my breakfast. So here we have 2 slice toaster with a high lift lever and a 6 shade setting. So I'm going to put this on number 3. It also comes with a reheat, defrost and cancel mode with a retro control panel. And I think number 3 is the perfect toastiness for me.
So I'm on my way for the MOT. Wish us good luck and hopefully we should pass. And we're at line 3. And I've only got one guy in front of me, which is awesome. Well, it failed the other day at the MOT. The guy burst my front brake line, one of these rubber hoses. The brake is actually on the other side. He was testing the brakes and he just pushed gently and pop, and you could hear it, and then I saw oil all on the floor, not a lot. So he's given me the fail sheet, and then I was allowed to drive home with 0 brakes all the way from Castelo Branco. Nothing. You put your foot on the brake pedal and all it does is push fluid out. Now what you would do with any sort of hoses like this is, if the other side has burst, this one is generally not far behind it, and what you'll find is when you fix the hose on the other side, you've now put a very good healthy hose which creates more pressure, and then it puts more pressure on the weaker side and then often makes that burst sooner rather than later. And if you look in here, you can see, I hope, those little black perishing marks. There's little perish marks there. That is roughly where the other side has burst. So this one is not far off of it. And I've got the new brake hoses here, and they're a grand total of €9 each. I'm using a special brake line spanner which has got a slot in the end, so that goes over the brake line and then around that nut, and then I can undo it. I've already snapped it free. And then we'll unwind that from there, because there's a security clip which is holding this in here. And as I undo this a bit further, it will start to drip some, well, in fact, there you go, you can see it's starting to come out now. So I've got a little tray on the floor to catch any of those drips, because it's brake fluid, which isn't the nicest stuff in the world. And you can see it undoing now. That's one end of that hose free. We'll get this one back on here as fast as possible to stop it leaking. The leak is only going to start coming out at the end of the hose, but hopefully I should be able to get that on down here before that starts to leak. I really should have latex gloves on, but I haven't got any left, and I'm only getting it on my fingertips. It's not that bad. Things like this on the disc, that'll stop your brakes working. it'll rot your paint away. You don't need a lot, just a couple of bits like that and it neutralises it, then that's fine. That's one side done. I can't put the wheel on yet because, like Sandra's already said, I'm going to have to bleed the system. I'll be surprised if there's actually any brake fluid left in the system after my drive home.
I'm just glad it was you, not me.
Yeah, well, I'm glad it broke on the guy wasn't moving, because you think about it, 2-3 more brake presses from me when I was driving to the MOT, it probably would have burst. But I know how to drive a car without brakes, having had a garage. I mean, I drove it as far as CB from here.
About 30 kilometres.
Yeah, so I drove that all right with no handbrake, with no brakes, using the handbrake in the gearbox. Obviously didn't have an accident, so you just stay back from everybody and don't drive like a lunatic. Right, and this side's actually dripping already.
Do you need the tray?
Yes, please, love. Yeah, it's been dripping happily there. Oh yeah, there's a nice big split just there. There's one good thing, there's oil still dripping out, which means that hopefully the brake reservoir above has not run dry, which means it hasn't sucked air into the tube that's feeding this. So, but now we've got a new tube on there, this new tube will be full of air, so we need to bleed it anyway, but it makes it a lot easier if it hasn't made the reservoir run dry, which it looks like it might have done, but it won't make a big difference.
So that's me doing the up down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I've got a machine that does it, haven't I? And,
but you've also got me.
yeah. And to be quite honest, sometimes the old-fashioned way of doing it by hand is actually faster than using those machines. Right. Wash off any of the excess brake fluid, especially here because it's dripped over the rubbers of the stabiliser bar, probably on the CV boot, and that will rot that if it stays there. Right, we give everything a good spray because this just neutralises the brake fluid. Right, put that rubber up there, like that. That one there, so it rubs against there, and these two are a bit excessive but not needed. This is a vacuum bleeding brake bleeding kit. You can normally plug it into an air line in the workshop, and when you pull the trigger, which has got a clamp, it creates a suction in here, and what you can do, it means you don't need somebody in the truck to keep pressing the pedal up and down. You put this on the end of the brake nipple and it sucks the fluid through for you, but I'm not going to bother doing that today. I'm just going to use it as a catch container. There's the brake nipple, special spanner, 11mm goes over it. This has got a little hole in the end. You push that over the nipple, open the nipple, and what we should see is a bit of flip. There we go, there's the fluid. There's the fluid. There's no air bubbles in it, but we will push the pedal a few times to do that. So I'll do that now, Sandra can watch it. Down, up. There we go, now we got the brake pedal back. Did it come through?
Yeah.
Right. That's all in the pot, so nothing on the floor. So dust cap for the nipple, that goes back over the top, and that's this side done.
So now I'm going to make Dad a cup of tea using our new kettle, which has an anti-scale filter as well. I'll let this sit for a minute and I'm going to take Dad a cup of tea. tea you asked for.
Oh, bless you.
Where do you want it? Huh?
That'll
You
do.
good?
Thank you. Oh, nice cup of tea. Right, you see me do the wheel nuts up with that, but you always do them up by hand afterwards. You have to use a torque wrench. Even this wouldn't be sufficient. You have to do it to a torque. But if I do it now by this, all it'll do is spin the wheel. So you do them up tight with a gun, lower the truck, and then make sure everything's tight with this. I've just topped the engine oil up, checked the fluids, everything's good. Brake fluids on the correct level. I've just run the truck backwards and forwards in the driveway and the brakes seem really good. Fingers crossed we get the MOT.
Today I'm with Dad and we are in CB to go and watch the downhill urban, is that correct?
The mountain bike race.
Yeah, that's passing through Castelo Branco.
It's in the city. I've got my old race shirt on.
Blake 71.
When I used to ride a lot of downhill mountain bikes, and we're off to meet a Portuguese producer of e-bikes called Beeq, and we're about to go and meet them at their pit stall. So we're about to wander off and go and have a chat with them. That's the finish line.
Oh, okay.
Finish line. Hold uphill and take them back up the top of the city on the truck.
Hoje também a capital do downhill urbano, as emoções ao rubro.
Later maybe I will check that, but at this moment I'm not in number 3. Nice bike.
This version is an aluminium version with some of...
So we have arrived in Dockers where it's being held and I've just found this beauty.
Glad to see you have a short stint. Yeah. I see so many people with the 60s. What is this? A speed sensor? Yes. Ah, CCS. Here we go.
In the future will be here for this day.
Yeah, try that. Thank you. Yeah.
We can go through there.
No, I just cycle here.
No, yes, I mean to...
Oh, where you go to here? I'll follow you. I'll follow you.
Yeah. The brakes is not so good, so I need to change the disc, but will come this week. It's not available. But works enough to do this track. Yes.
You can ignore the just smashing the ground. You always do that.
No, it's alright. It's okay.
I follow you.
Yeah. Okay. And with this, my goal to watch. Be careful with the phone.
Yeah, your phone's falling out your pocket.
Yeah. lock everything. Of course, here all the bikes are okay. You can do the stairs or mountain completely. I had many years ago Nicola, yeah, I know very well. I had different design, very strong construction. I'm like a factory rider. What is this now? 140?
But it's a stock.
Yeah, but 160.
Hola. Goodbye. This week we have been a woman down as Mum has had a trapped nerve, so she's going to be spending next week in bed trying to fix that. I got stung by wasps as I was trying to clean up the courtyard to lend a helping hand. And I'd like to say thank you to Jasper from the Portugal project who came over this week to give Dad a helping hand, and you guys will be finding out more about that in the next upcoming videos. I'd like to say a big thank you to everyone who has supported us by Buy Me a Coffee, Patreon and PayPal. Thank you to everyone. And I'd like to say a thank you to everyone who likes, subscribes and leaves a comment on our video. So don't forget to do so, and we will see you back here next week.